Good morning, Year 4. I hope you're all well. Welcome to today's English session. In today's session, we are going to be learning more about what deforestation is and constructing a debate about it for some reasons for deforestation and reasons against it. So to be successful in this lesson, you will be able to do three things. You will be able to explain what deforestation is and to identify some of the causes of deforestation. You will be able to explain why some people think deforestation should happen, whilst other people are totally against it and do not think it should happen. And finally, you will be able to construct a debate about deforestation, considering both sides of it, using the structure of point, evidence, and explanation to create a clear argument. Now I have three retrieval questions for you today. So question number one, using the picture on the slide, can you give a definition for the word triumphantly? Number two, the definition is wave or swing wildly. What word is this a definition for? And can you add the inverted commas into the correct place for this sentence in purple? So pause the video here, write down your answers on a piece of paper, please. Off you go. Okay, so question number one, what do you think this picture shows? What does triumphantly mean? Well, it looks like he's just climbed something. Looks like he's quite proud. He's quite feeling a sense of achievement. And that's exactly what triumphantly means. When somebody shows a great happiness or joy at a victory or an achievement, they are feeling triumphant. They have triumphantly climbed to the top of the mountain. Question number two then, if something is waving or swinging wildly, we call that flailed. So remember that in our book, The Explorer, Fred's legs flailed. They were waving or swinging wildly when he was climbing the tree. And finally, to add the inverted commas in the correct place, we need to know which part of this sentence is the direct speech. I just want to go home and see my family, cried Con. Well, we know that cried Con is not the direct speech. What is that? That's right, that's our reported clause, so our inverted commas should go before I and after the exclamation mark, just like this. Okay, now, thinking about yesterday's session and the picture that we used for yesterday's retrieval session and yesterday's plenary, can you remember what was happening in this picture? Pause the video and have a think. Did you remember what that process was called when somebody or a group of people goes and cuts down trees? That's right, that process is called deforestation, and that's something that happens in a lot of forests and also a lot of rainforests. And today we are going to learn more about what deforestation is and really think about why some people would be for deforestation and why other people would be totally against deforestation. But first we need to learn what it is and why people choose to do it. So, what is deforestation? Do you want to just pause the video and see if you can come up with a definition for what deforestation is? Off you go. Okay, shall we see how close your definition is to mine? So, my definition is deforestation is the way that you clear away many trees by cutting them or burning them. So in this picture you can see that many trees have been cut down or potentially burned down because they wanted to clear away many trees. Now, is that the definition you got? Fantastic. Now let's think, why does deforestation happen? Well, there's lots and lots of different reasons. One reason that deforestation happens is because they want to have land to grow crops, or they want to have land to farm cattle, so to have animals such as sheep or cows and have them in the land instead. They might want to build roads or towns, like yesterday I was talking about them wanting to build houses because of the growing population of people. Or they want to use the wood from the trees to make resources that we actually use today. So there's lots of different reasons why people might want to take part in deforestation. And deforestation is interesting because trees are very, very useful and very, very valuable. I bet you didn't know some things that can be made from trees. I want you to have a think. What things can you find in your room that rely on trees being cut down? Pause the video now, have a look around you. Can you see anything that might rely on trees being cut down? Off you go. Okay, so if you have some wood in your house, 9 times out of 10 that it was from a tree, because woods such as teak and mahogany, they are two types of wood. They are really, really strong wood, and this type of wood is really perfect for making furniture or building with because they are so strong. And you can get this from trees, and many of these unique trees grow in the tropical rainforests like the Amazon. And this is why they are cut down so the wood can be sold and used to make this furniture or used to build other things. And this whole process of cutting down these trees to use the wood to make other resources is called logging, okay? So the process where they cut down the trees, they use the wood to make resources that we will use today. This is called logging. So they would sell it on somewhere else. Now we're going to think about the pros and cons to that in a little while, but let's think more about deforestation, because we are looking in geography at the Amazon rainforest. The Amazon rainforest is the largest tropical rainforest in the whole world. Now you can see in this picture how huge it is, and this is not even all of it. It's so big that both the United Kingdom and Ireland would fit inside it 17 times. That is a huge amount of land that the Amazon rainforest covers. So you can imagine the different species, both of insects, of animals, of trees, of plants, that are all in the Amazon rainforest. And I want you, when I'm just reading out these statistics, have a think. If all these trees are getting cut down, what do you think might happen to these animals? So, the rainforest is home to 390 billion trees. That is 16,000 different species of trees. The rainforest also has 10% of all the world's animal species that live there, and there are at least 40,000 different plant species in the Amazon rainforest. So if those trees got cut down, what might happen to all these species of animals, of plants, of trees? Pause the video and have a think. Okay, I'm not going to take answers yet. We're going to keep going and see if we can find the answer in a bit more detail. Now, the thing is, humans are a huge threat to the Amazon rainforest because we are the ones that are cutting the trees down. Not us individually, but a human has to cut the tree down for it to be classed as deforestation. Now, so many trees are being cut down that more than 5 billion trees are cut down across these tropical rainforests every single year. And this number increases, it gets bigger every single year. And over half of all the tropical rainforests worldwide have been destroyed since the year 1960. So it's increasing that much because some people truly believe that deforestation is a good thing, and we're going to look at those reasons in a moment. But that means that all these trees are getting cut down every year, and over half of the tropical rainforests have been destroyed since the year 1960. How many years ago was the 1960s? That is about 60 years ago. So in 60 years, over half of the tropical forests worldwide have been destroyed. So that is a lot. Now, there are lots of different causes of deforestation. The first one is this idea of cattle ranching. Cattle ranching is the most popular reason for deforestation because cattle ranching is the process of cutting down the trees and using the area for animals instead, so farming, to farm different animals. And that counts for 65 to 70% of the reason for deforestation. So nearly 3/4 of deforestation circumstances is to take part in this cattle ranching. Now, another reason for deforestation is this idea of growing crops. And another word for growing crops to have food from is agriculture. And that accounts to just over a quarter, between a quarter and a half, so 25 to 30% of all deforestation reasons. The next one is logging. Can you remember what logging was? That's right, cutting down the trees, using the wood to sell on and make other things like furniture and building. And that's only 2 to 3% of all the deforestation reasons. And finally, you have those unforeseen circumstances, so fires, mining, but also those things that they can help, such as building and creating roads, so building houses, building shops, building towns, but that is only 1 to 2%. So you can see that cattle ranching is the most popular, and this is because the idea of this cattle ranching, because they have the farm animals, they can use these farm animals to produce beef and leather, which is what we get from cows, amongst other products too. Okay? Now, there are lots of reasons why people are going to be against deforestation. They would say no to deforestation. Can you think of any reasons why deforestation should not happen? Can you just pause the video now, write down some suggestions, as many as you can think of, why might deforestation be a bad thing? Pause the video now, write your ideas down on a piece of paper, please. Okay, let's explore some of these ideas. And when I'm going through them, I want you to think, did I think of any of these? Or, oh, that might be an interesting fact that I could include in my debate later on if you're quite interested about it. Now, the main one is that deforestation destroys habitats of lots and lots of animals. Many of these animals then become extinct. They are not around anymore because they can't find anywhere else to live. Their environments are getting very sensitive because they're not used to this new habitat if the rainforest has been cut down, and they can get quite sensitive and quite harmed. Another reason is that we know from our book The Explorer you can get lots and lots of food from the rainforest, and that's exactly what we do. We get food such as bananas from our banana tree, coffee, rice, potatoes, nuts, and lots of other foods from the rainforest. And without the forest, we can't find these foods in nature. And we're going to see what the deforestation debate for ideas suggest about this counter-argument to this point in a moment. Another reason against deforestation is that the trees help to control the climate of the rainforest and the water cycle. If you think of the different layers in the rainforest, you've got all those different layers, and the different trees help to stop the water from reaching the ground too much, or from some plants getting too much water, and that helps control the climate. So without these trees, there wouldn't be that control. Also, with no trees, the soil from the ground is going to be loose. Nothing is going to be holding that soil to the ground. So then the soil is going to be washed into the rivers, and it might pollute the rivers with the type of soil it is, which could be really dangerous for the rivers too. Another reason that people who are for deforestation say that we could just replant the trees, but trees will not grow back in a day. They will take years to grow back. So that will not be an easy fix. Another reason why someone might be against deforestation is because a lot of this logging is actually illegal and not allowed. So there's some areas where cutting down the forest is not allowed, but some people still do it to use that wood for other things, and that's not okay, is it? Another idea is this machinery that is used in deforestation. So the way that they cut the trees down and the machines that they use adds to the carbon emissions. So that temperature in the air, those gases that go into the air, could be quite harmful for us and animals too. So the machinery lets off that gas, that carbon emission, and adds to it, makes it quite dangerous. And finally, other animals also eat the foods in the rainforest. So by cutting down the trees, they're destroying both their food and ours. But we can get bananas from the shop. Can animals? No, they can't. So it's really, really dangerous and important to know that actually animals need the food too. Now, we are going to have a think now about the other side of the deforestation debate. We've looked at all the reasons why deforestation might not be allowed, people might be against it, but I want you to think now, just before we head to part 2 of this lesson for today, what reasons do you think there might be for deforestation? Why might people say, actually, deforestation is a good thing? Pause the video now and have a think. Okay, head over to part 2 and we will be talking about the rest of this lesson.